Welcome all. Today in building services, we will go through about the concepts of the air conditioning and the refrigeration. This is about the air conditioning. That is, air conditioning is nothing but the process of treating the air supply in order to control its humidity, temperature, purity, distribution, and also its air movement. That is, air movement to meet the specific criteria for the space. So, air conditioning may either increase or decrease the space temperature. Air conditioning will be done for the several purposes. So first purpose is for the residential purpose, that is to preserve and maintain the health, comfort and convenience of the occupants in the residential building. Second is about for the industrial purpose, that is to preserve the quality of the products and to maintain the working of the industrial processes such as the art, silk and the cotton cloths, etc. Third purpose is about the commercial purpose. In commercial buildings like the theaters, offices, shops, stores and restaurants, so air conditioning is required in order to improve the working atmosphere and maintain comfort within these concerns. And the other purpose is for the during the travel purpose, that is in travel by either by means of the air, railways, road and water. Air conditioning imparts facility and comfort by conditioning the quality of air in aeroplanes, when railway coaches, roads, that is by when we are traveling in the cars, buses and also in ships. So next is the functional classification of the air conditioning. So there is two types, two functional classification. First one is the comfort air conditioning and other one is the industrial air conditioning. So comfort air conditioning is that is use of air conditioning mainly for the human comfort, that is compared with the air conditioning of the industrial purposes. So only for human comfort it is categorized as the comfort air conditioning. In terms of industrial air conditioning, it is used of that is use of air conditioning in industrial plants where the prime objective is enhancement of the manufacturing process rather than the human comfort. Next is the air conditioning based upon the seasons. So there will be two different air conditioning based upon the seasons. First one is the summer air conditioning and other one is the winter air conditioning. In summer air conditioning, so the main aim is to cool the air which is inside the room. So it consists the setup consists of the air cleaning, cooling and dehumidification and air circulation. In terms of winter air conditioning, so main aim is to heat the air inside the room. So it consists of the air cleaning, air heating, humidification and air circulation. So there is two purpose. In summer we have to cool the air and in winter we have to heat the air which is inside the room. Next is the air conditioning. So that is there will be two types. One is the window air conditioning and other one is the split ACs, the split air conditioning. So in terms of window air conditioning, so implement the complete air conditioning in this very small space. So the units are made very small enough to fit into a standard window frame, so built into walls or windows with the warm part outside and the cooling part inside. So it will be in olden days, it will be there will be air conditioning which is fitted into the window frame. So there is warm path will be facing outside and the cooling path will be facing inside. In terms of split ACs which we normally use in our houses, so in case of that, so large air conditioning application, this one is so this splits the hot side from cool side of the system. Next is about the refrigeration. So refrigeration is nothing but the mechanism which is used to lower or producing the low temperature of have the lower temperature when compared to its surrounding temperature. This is called as the refrigeration system. So the heat is being generally pumped from the low level to the higher one and is rejected by the high temperature. So the term refrigeration may be defined as the process of removing heat from the substance under the controlled condition. So it includes the process of reducing the heat and maintaining the temperature of the body below the general temperature of its surroundings. So this is the principle of the refrigeration which is governed by the second law of dynamics. So that is the heat cannot flow from the cold body to the hot body unless whether an external force acts on it to transfer it. So this is the sketch of it, that is whole body the heat will be transferred, that is in the refrigeration. So external force will be applied, then the heat will be transferred to the hot body. Next is about the refrigerator and the refrigerant. Refrigerator is the reserved heat engine or the heat pump which takes out heat from the cold body and delivers it to the hot body. So it is a system which delivers the which takes out heat from the cold body and it is delivered to the hot body. Whereas refrigerant is the heat carrying medium which during their cycle in the refrigeration system absorbs heat from the low temperature system and deliver it to the high temperature system. So some of the commonly used refrigerants are ammonia, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, methyl chloride, furands and fluorinated hydrocarbons. Next is the classification of the refrigeration system. So there are three types. There is ice refrigeration system, air refrigeration system and vapor refrigeration system. In out of these three, vapor refrigeration system is commonly used in domestic and the commercial purposes. Next, vapor compression cycle. So this is the most important system from the point of commercial and also for the domestic utility and most practical form of the refrigeration. So the working fluid refrigerant used in this refrigeration system readily evaporates and condenses or changes alternatively between the vapor and the liquid phases without leaving the refrigerating plant. So during evaporation, it absorbs heat from the cold body and in the condensing or the cooling, it rejects heat to the external hot body. The heat absorbed from the cool body during the evaporation is used as its latent heat for converting it from liquid to the vapor. So the cooling effect is created in the working fluid. So this is the sketch of the vapor compression refrigeration, which consists of the compressor, receiver, condenser, expansion valve and the evaporator. So these are the components of it. So vapor compression system, these are the components of it, that is consists of compressor, condenser, receiver, expansion valve and the evaporator. Compression is for the, that is the low temperature and the pressure refrigerant from the evaporator is drawn into, which is drawn into the compressor through the inlet or the suction valve, where it will be compressed to the high temperature and the liquid. The high temperature and the pressure vapor refrigerant is discharged into the condenser to the delivery or the discharge valve. First that will be compressed in the compressor, then it will be sent to the condenser. In condenser, the condenser or the cooler consists of the coil of the pipe in which the high temperature and the pressure vapor refrigerant is cooled and condensed. So the refrigerant, while passing through the condenser, rejects its latent heat which is produced in the compressor to the surrounding condenser medium, which is normally air or the water. So the hot refrigerant vapor received from the compressor is converted into liquid form in the condenser. Next is the receiver. The condensed liquid refrigerant from the condenser is stored in a vessel which is known as the receiver. So from where it will be supplied to the expansion valve or the refrigerant control valve. Expansion valve. The function of this valve is to allow the liquid refrigerant and under high temperature and the pressure to pass at the controlled rate after reducing its pressure and the temperature. Some of the liquid refrigerant evaporates as it when it is passing through the expansion valve, but the greater portion of the liquid is vaporized in the evaporator at the low temperature and the pressure. Next is the evaporator. The evaporator consists of coils of pipe in which the liquid vapor refrigerant at the low pressure and the temperature is evaporated and changes into vapor refrigerant at low pressure and the temperature. So during evaporation process, the liquid vapor refrigerant absorbs its latent heat of the vaporization from the medium which is to be cooled. Next is the advantages of the refrigeration process. There is small size of is required for the given refrigerating capacity and higher coefficient of the performance and lower power requirement for a given capacity, then less complexity in both design and operation, then it can be used over large of temperatures. Thank you.